I welcome my select YouTube viewers after a gap of 4 months for my 104th video of my YouTube channel, Writer Sandhanam Speaks. A few words about the language I speak in. Tamil being my mother tongue, I am greatly at ease with it. I have already put out more than 50 videos in my mother tongue Tamil. But since I am speaking to the world viewers, there is a demand that I should speak in English, the link language. However, I never forget to introduce the Tamil wisdom through its poems in all my English speeches, so that the viewers become conversant with the language Tamil, its beauty and its deep wisdom. The topic of my today's talk is, quote, I am in a state of moksha, U.G.Krishnamurti. Today is the 106th birth anniversary of the sage U.G., as U.G. Krishnamurti was fondly called by his personal admirers all over the world, of whom I am one. My last YouTube video was also on U.G. on his death anniversary, that is on 22nd March 2024. Viewers might wonder why I am obsessed with U.G. Is he the only sage the world has ever seen? Or is it that his words are the only teachings a real aspirant like me should listen to? Not at all. The reason is, a sage being the rarest of the rare human beings, he is not to be seen frequently, as we are witnessing quite often scholars, scientists, leaders, or even annual Nobel laureates. I was among the lucky ones to have witnessed, conversed, and be with the sage U.G., who walked in our times like an ordinary pedestrian and talked to the eager listeners in simple English on matters spiritual, man to man, accompanied by no publicity paraphernalia. Anybody could meet him anytime with no appointment. In his last years, he gave, out of compulsion, interviews to media so that what he said reached a larger audience. This holy vagabond, within quote, had no fixed abode of his own, nor he established any ashram. Though to become a sage is not in one's hands, I was blessed to listen to a voice free from bondage and human values, whose victims we are. I cannot paint like a Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci, but can enjoy their work. So also with U.G. Further, I can take legitimate pride in getting U.G.'s appreciation during his stay at Bengaluru on reciting poems of wisdom from Tamil Siddhas. Perhaps I may be the only one to do so in his presence. I did not meet Buddha, Sri Ramana Maharshi, but compensated by listening to U.G.'s voice in person during 3 summers at Bengaluru at Mr. Chandrasekhar's house. Now, today's video is about moksha, liberation, freedom, the ultimate aim of a sincere human being whose desire is to escape from the ever-chasing human sorrow, whether he is a prince or a pauper. If he is chosen by Lady Luck, he becomes a sage, freed from the sorrow, and he is in the state of moksha, like U.G., even while living. They are termed as Jivan Muktas. Some critical viewers might wonder How is it that a person who was anti-guru, anti-religion and even anti-God could say that he was always in moksha? With due apology to U.G., let me interpret his conception of moksha. Before that, let me take out a passage from the book, The Natural State, full of U.G.'s statements, compiled by Peter Maverick, published by Sruti Books. This statement on moksha by U.G. occurs on page 102. Let me read them out. There is nothing to be achieved, nothing to accomplish. Here there is no need to sit in special postures and control your breath, even while my eyes are open. In fact, no matter what I am doing, I am in a state of moksha. This is the topic of my talk today. The knowledge you have about moksha is what is keeping you away from it. Moksha comes after the ending of all you have ever known, at death. The body has to become like a corpse before that knowledge, which is locked in every cell in the body, ceases. These words may be a shocking revelation to some viewers who have viewed U.G. mistakenly as an atheist. But U.G. listeners like me, a Tamilian, or to a student of Sanskrit Upanishads, it gives enormous joy to listen to these words, words of genuine spirituality. As a lover of Tamil wisdom, I could quote chapter and verse from Tamil poems answering to the U.G.'s statement on moksha. U.G., as I have read out, says, quote, moksha comes out after the ending of all you have ever known. The body has to become like a corpse before the knowledge, which is locked into every cell in the body, ceases. There are many confirming statements from Tamil sages. One of them is, சிந்தையும் என்போல் செயலற்று அடங்கிவிட்டால் வந்ததெல்லாம் நின் வரவாய் வாழ்வு என்பராபரமே. This is from Tamil sage Thaimanavar, who says, if my thinking mechanism comes to a halt, then whatever I do is at your bidding, O God. In the case of U.G., this thinking mechanism ceased in his 49th birthday at Sanin Valley in Switzerland in 1967. Strangely, this also happened to Sri Ramana Maharishi, a contemporary and elder to U.G. in his 17th year, in a house at Madurai, Tamil Nadu, which is incidentally my native place too. Listen to Ramana's words. Quote, I lied down. I felt I was dying. At that moment, a greater power overtook my body and I survived. Which means, quotation ends, which means thought structure collapsed in him as it happened to U.G. Sri Ramana Maharishi underwent the biological mutation, a modern scientific term used by U.G. In one of Ramana's poems, compiled in the book Ulladu Narpadu, Ramana says, Kandavan nindrida nindradu kande, meaning, in substance, while the moving thought stopped, I saw the unmoving. In one of his rare statements, U.G. told me, this biological mutation should have also happened to similar sages, including Ramana Maharishi, whom he called as the real Makai, though he was critical of Sri Ramana Maharishi's who am I statement and his ashram. Not only the above two sages, but another Tamil sage, Pattanathar, confirms their experience. The poem runs like this, the poem from Pattanathar. Kanni kadithane kannara kandendi, ennilame nanariyeen, idanna mayamadi. Translated, I have seen him with a capital H, with my own eyes, who has violated my virginity, and I do not know my state. What a miracle it is. After this experience of I thought coming to a standstill, Patinathar, a billionaire merchant, became a pauper by choice, like the Buddha, begging for his food, begging for his daily food. There is an interesting story about the sage come holy beggar Patinathar. Even the king, during Patinathar's time, the story goes, borrowed money from him, so wealthy he was. On hearing Patinathar's latest metamorphosis, the king rushed to meet him. The king, standing, respectfully addressed the sage Patinathar, who was clothed in rags, sitting by the side of the street's garbage pit. The king addressed Patinathar like this: "O Patinathar, what is the benefit you have reaped out of your renunciation?" The reply by the smiling Patinathar was, I quote, "Look, O king, O you mighty king, you are addressing me, respectfully standing, whereas I am sitting and answering you. This is the difference." U.G. was like Patinathar, born rich, chose a life of renunciation, became a wanderer without destination, freed from human psychological suffering. U.G. used to say, there is only physical suffering, no psychological suffering. Psychological suffering is of your own making. In the passage I read out, I repeat, moksha comes after the ending of all you have ever known. It is, in the words of U.G., a state of not knowing, without quotation, not knowing, the absence of thought, the absence of knowledge. These Jivan Muktas, reborn in one life, have avoided subsequent rebirths and its attendant sufferings. But while alive, they showed to the world that they have attained the ultimate state that a human being could aspire for, a state according to Buddha, beyond which, within quote, beyond which nothing more remains to be achieved. Quotation ends. As I emphasized in my earlier videos, this moksha is only for the individual and not for the society. U.G., my conventional wish of many happy returns of the day, though you have avoided rebirth. What if? Your voice and words are always with me, reborn in me every time I remember you. In fact, not a day passes without remembering you. As you have often said, you cannot know life. I do not know my waiting period to join you. Thank you.